Hey guys, it's Dirtbag Gaming, bringing you back another World of Tanks video and replay as well. Stay tuned, I've got some mastery gameplay coming up to show you, as well as a tank review. And oh yes, I'm looking at the machine already that we're going to do the review on. It is the Tier 9 Soviet medium tank, the T-54. This thing, when it came to my garage, I was absolutely surprised and how mobile this machine was to drive on the battlefield, and with it you can come out with some pretty decent stats with this thing if you use the T-54 the way I'm going to tell you. So we're going to be looking at statistics as well as equipment and what consumables you'd be using on this tank. Now, like all the other mediums, it's completely a different game with this one. Just because it's more low profile. The only, say, a tank comes into a similar format than this is the Centurion Mark 7. Then the turret on that is pretty decent. Same with the T-54s at front. It's totally indestructible. You cannot pen it, which compensates for the actual armor. So let's look at some statistics of the T-54. Now we'll start with the armor, as well as hull armor, as well as the turret armor. So at the front we have got 120mm thick armor, but it's at an angle, and shooting it at that angle will give it a bit more of a bounce, making it a lot harder to penetrate. The sides are 80mm thick, and the back is 45mm thick, and that's the huge disadvantage for the T-54. But if we look at the turret, it's completely different. You got 200mm thick at the front. Like I said, the front of this is indestructible. Hardly anyone has been able to pen the front of that. You can get lucky by shooting just the undercut between the turret and the hull, jamming the turret or damaging the turret. But either way, the armor on the front compensates for the front of the turret compensates for the back. So it's got 160mm thick armor at the front and 65mm at the back. Now the back of the turret isn't strong, but the sides and the front, as well as the frontal hull armor at an angle, gives this tank the opportunity of going out into the battlefield and just giving damage and eating damage. There's no other way you can describe this. The agility on this tank, it's just incredible. So we're going to look at the statistics now of this vehicle. Now the T-54 gets 1650 HP max with all its packages completely unlocked. It's got 50 less than the Object 430 version 2. But the T-54 is not rear mounted. The Object 430 version 2 is. So you have to play the Object 430 version 2 like a tank destroyer in a medium tank. In this one, it's just a normal medium tank, so you don't need to worry about the hull lock on the Object 430 version 2. The speed limit on it is 56 kilometers per hour, giving it a top decent speed so it can zip around the battlefield and help your teammates whenever it needs to. The acceleration is 700 brake horsepower. That's enough for a tank like this. Chassis that's light enough, which gives it the top speed of 56 kilometers per hour. It also affects the chassis rotation at 48 degrees per second and the turret rotation at 44 degrees per second, giving it an absolutely impressive turning rate, as though it's slower than the turret. The rate of fire, this is the gun now, it's 7.32 rounds per minute. if you use the other guns, the other two, the tier 9, the other tier 9 and the 2 tier 7s, the 2 tier 7s got a faster firing rate but weaker damage. With the tier 9 ones, you're actually doing loads more damage, which gives it this long reload time. So the view range is 309 meters. It's difficult for it to be as this medium tank. The camouflage as well, pretty average. Yeah, it's alright, you put binoculars on. When you use the camo factor behind the bush, it does work. Especially if you have coded optics equipped to this tank. So that covers the T-54 statistics and its tank review. But the thing I'd recommend with this tank, with its strong turret armor like this, is the hold down method. It does work, keeping your turret up, keeping your hull hidden completely. The effect does work. It's just a simple case of finding the actual cover behind the hills to do it. So now that the tank review has finally been done, we will now get to the gameplay that I promised to show you. So, this is the game on Karelia, and it's on Assault, and we are defending this time. So, it's a mixed game of tier 8s, 9 to 10, so it's not pretty bad for matchmaking. So, let's get the show on the road. Now, one of the things I like with this map is it's very hilly and very rocky. On a standard battle, I don't choose to come here because on this side because it's too nerve-wracking, because I'm always thinking I'm being watched by a tank destroyer. So I decided to go around the cliff instead. Just for your preference on standard battle is what I prefer. But we're on Assault, so shut up, dirtbag. We're talking about Assault. So I move up to the northeastern side of the map, and my team behind me are coming as well. T-54 plays a very decent role on this map, I think, for this game. You'll see. So I spotted 3 enemies. Well, spotted by someone else. But I spotted a T-54, shoot him, spot him, and hit his track. Not tracking him at all. So, it's looking pretty alright at the moment for my team. So I look at the WTLV 100 driver, which is telling him that I probably need some backup. You just get your reload finished. So I see an IS-7, I shot, he bounced, and I spot him. Now this bit gets pretty silly now with this IS-7 and this WTLV 100 because, well, the WTLV 100 himself is alright, but watch what the IS-7 does. So he decides to go down and hit the WTLV 100, making a huge mistake and costing him his life. That's one valuable tier 10 destroyed. So I've been spotted, so I don't go around that side and deal with that T-54. Otherwise, I'm caught in the open. So instead, I stay with my team. I've got to stay with my team as much as possible, and in that way will lead to the success of this game. So a Tiger II has been flattened by a self-propelled gun of the GW Tiger. Well done to the artillery guy, or player even, for killing him, saving us time. So I see that same Object 268 again. That pesky Object 268. Now, I seem to know the guy on the team who uses the Object 268, and he's a very decent player. But he wasn't decent enough to carry this game himself. But he does quite well to survive at this point. So, I fire, he bounces. It was a pretty bad shot that, because I hit his angled armor on the bouncy part of it. So I stay behind the rock and wait for my team. The reason why I'm not advancing now is because the Object 268 could turn quicker than I can move. So that's why I'm staying hidden. So now, I pull out a bit. Oh, he's moving back as well. He keeps moving back. And I see a T-32 beside me and he's going to help me. So now he's already fired a shot into the E-100 that was behind me. So now me and the T-32 can advance while he's reloading. So I fire again, and this time I track him. Sorry about that. And the T-32 has just put a shot into him. So I fire again, and I keep damaging him as long as I'm behind him. Now, I already hit the T-32, so the T-32's lost half its HP by now. But that's not enough to beat us both. So I fire again, damaging him. He's nearly dead now. He fires again to the T-32, but miraculously he tracks him. And then the Rust Red Devil in the Object 268 is destroyed. Big shout out to you for trying. So I see a GW Tiger P, and a fire and a miss. Now that's the weaker self-propelled version of the GW Tiger. The gun is fine, it's just slower. So I didn't really bother about what tier it's at, the GW Tiger P. So I tell my team to defend the base because now the team is capping. But I ignore that. And I gang up on the GW Tiger P, he misses. And I fired to kill him. He nearly got me that time. If he'd have got it further, he would have done a lot of damage to my tank. Probably killing me. So I see an AT-15. I bounce a shot off the turret. And then I fire straight into his cupola. It's a very big weak spot for the AT-15, that. So he fires again. He misses again. Or, no, he bounces. And this time the T-32 destroys him. Now I try to keep this tier 8 driver as alive as long as I can. I've got to keep him alive until the point where I don't need him. But I actually did need him still to distract him. So the Foch comes downhill. I fire his lower plate. And he pulls back. So he fires at the T-32, damaging him again. I fire and tracked him this time. And now there's a pesky M103 behind me who's just killed my fellow T-32. So I can't rely on him anymore to back me up. So I've got to deal with this myself. At this point I panicked. But I chose to go down the hill. Because I do not want to deal with two decent tier 9 tanks. Because that will end up getting me killed. So I'll go down the cliff. I'll go down casually so I don't take damage. My sixth sense has gone off. I know I've been spotted again. And it's the Foch again. And he comes down the hill. Makes a huge mistake. And this time I tracked him. So he ain't going nowhere. Because I keep firing at his track, damaging him also. Crucial weak point on the Foch, that. And then I finish him off, delivering the killing blow. Now I'm still spotted after I killed him, and I take a shot of the Object 140. But I'm not too bothered. Because with the skills I've got on this tank, on my crew member, it's decent enough to keep me alive. As long as possible. So I'm down to half my hit points now. So I stop. I shoot and I hit the Object 140. I didn't expect that run to hit him, but it seemed to have gone in. I was expecting a bounce off that guy. So I continue to advance, dealing with what's left of the enemy team. So there's a WTL Panzer IV over there. I choose to ignore him and turn attention again to the M103. But this time, I'm dealing him some spotting damage. So whilst the enemies are hitting him and I spotted him, I get the support points for spotting that target as he's getting damaged. So it's assistance to allies, basically. So he's still taking damage. The M103's took a massive pounding. And he's nearly dead. And this time, I hit the shot. It was quite narrow, that shot, but I killed him. It was actually quite a lucky shot, that. I wasn't expecting that one to actually go through the turret. For how small the part of the tank was. But no matter. Go over to the WT Alpha and finish this game off. Now, I actually feel sorry for him at this point, because he was the last man out, and actually fought quite well on full HP in a non-armoured tank. But, look at the shit he's in now. Pulverised by an E100's 155mm, hit by an E75, and then finished off by me, delivering the victory. I'll take a look at the post stats now. So, I make a decent profit of credits and XP. Not bad. And of course, it was Mastery Gameplay. So it's a Mastery badge now. So, well done to me and the enemy team. And now, the damage results. So I dealt 3,841 damage. And that's it, guys. That's the T-54 for you. For tank review and Mastery Gameplay. Simply, if you want, like this video and subscribe. You don't have to if you don't want, but it's nice if you do. So, I'll catch up with you next time. See you on the next tank review. Not sure what tank it is yet. But, take care. And I'll see you next time.